Good morning, guys. Welcome to the new trading week. Welcome to Monday. Any Monday that is not a black Monday is obviously a good Monday at the moment. These markets are not looking too good here. We are obviously waiting for something somewhere to break. Some sort of capitulation move event before possibly turning this pan sell-off around. So yeah, I am Dan from Trading with Dan, and yeah, this is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go over to some of those Bitcoin 4-hour chart. So yeah, Bitcoin on the 4-hour, we have lost this support, so we are currently in relative no man's land at the moment. We've got support areas below 38, 37 and a half, and then obviously down here around 35,000. So yes, we're just got to see. We're basically awaiting these cash markets and stock markets to open to see how they want to react. We could draw a little bit of a hopium trend line on here, probably round about there. Could maybe do it a little bit lower, but for the sake of argument, we'll do it there. This is what could potentially be the line in the sand for what could be an ascending triangle. If we do break below here, I mean, I guess we could hold around this support level, and it still obviously be a series of higher lows. But yeah, it's not ideal. It is not ideal. But yeah, like I said there, any Monday that is not a black Monday, to be honest, isn't a bad Monday. In the context of what could be going on. Stock markets, as we can see, opening relatively weak. No bounce yet, but like I said, cash markets are open yet. No bounce yet. We are still obviously just below this downward sloping trend line here. But yeah, support down here. Are we going to come and tag that 3,000 handle on the S&P? Who knows what could happen. But yeah, we just have to see how these markets open. Obviously, we're getting some severely bearish rhetoric from the Fed. Jerome Powell not confirming that he doesn't want to see markets go down. I mean, on the basis that they looked for pumping asset prices to give the wealth effect. To make people rich, which basically just increases inequality. They're now looking to crash markets to give the opposite, to try and reduce inflation, the opposite of a wealth effect. And the irony of the situation is, I doubt that's going to decrease wealth inequality. I think also to the downside that will decrease wealth inequality. So yeah, this whole manipulated financialized markets. Solely for the benefit of the rich and the elites is obviously starting to enter its end game. So yeah, stock market is looking good. I would expect a bounce. I would expect this has been pretty aggressive. Maybe the cash markets open up, have a bit of a spike down, and then we bounce. But it's a pretty aggressive move. If we want to look at the DXY, you can see that is looking very aggressive here, but the 10-year isn't. So at least between obviously zero dated bonds, i.e. cash, and 10-year dated bonds, i.e. the 10-year, you can see that we are obviously getting steepening here. Flattening obviously, as this yield is coming down, whilst this in inverted commas yield is going up, and I suspect the 30-year will also be coming down as well. See if we can get this US 30 year. Yeah, you can see this is the 30-year, yeah. Oh, so it's practically the same as the 10-year. But yeah, you can see the US 30-year is also not looking obviously as strong as the front end of the curve. And by the front end of the curve, I'm talking literally the DXY. But you could also look at the 2-year as well. I think I had problems looking at the 2-year for some reason. 2-year, yeah. Look, no US 2-year. So, but yeah. I think what is potentially going to happen is this is just going to collapse at some point, the long end, and then yeah, it will remain to be seen what that can do to growth, tech, and obviously our beloved cryptocurrency. But yeah, it is obviously relatively I mean, it's kind of good to see because this yield is causing a serious squeeze as it rises, but obviously it's only declining now just on obviously reduced growth and recession risk and market crash risks. So yeah, we've got that. We have got that. The Ethereum USD pairing in this area of support at the bottom of it. If it loses this, it's a relative free shot down to 2600. But that's not to say that just have to happen. This could all be a big massive bearish fake out before we then continue to the upside. Ethereum Satoshi pairing approaching the support. This was always looking a bit toppy, but it was still bullish on the base if it was holding up there with obviously the bearish action in Bitcoin, but it is now starting to take its toll. But we are gonna run into a support area here. Nascoin wrecked, as you can see, wrecked. Even the beloved PMs, precious metals, gold, wrecked, silver even more wrecked, as you would expect in a high beta fashion. Yeah, markets wrecked. We are waiting for I don't know what I really don't know what the game is. I mean, on paper the game is basically get rid of inflation, and the only real way to get rid of inflation is basically for them to cause a recession or what could end up being a depression, and it's just not a good scenario, is it? All in all. And then obviously throw in conflict in Europe as well, on top of obviously the supply chains and everything, and China doing some crazy lockdown stuff as well, and obviously threatening its own conflicts on its own. Oh, we are certainly entering Neil Howe's fourth turning, aren't we? For sure. I'm sure you guys all know who he is and what the fourth turning is. I mean, it is quite obviously the fourth turning, isn't it? Quite obviously. We have a financial, political system run by the old and wealthy, for the benefit of the old and wealthy, completely not caring about, basically people, that aren't wealthy and young people. Everybody is struggling. It is not looking good. There needs to be change. This is a depressing video for Monday. Apologies, guys. But yeah, these markets have just been looking bad for a while. They've been looking bad. I'm telling you now, the Fed has got to toss these markets some sort of a bone, because at the moment it has been battering and berating them with every speech and everything they can do. I mean, literally what we are coming down to is that the global elites, the corrupt global elites, and most notably the Democrats, but also the rhino Republicans, the Republicans in name only, the uni-party people, they only care about inflating their own wealth, and then obviously that is second only to keeping power. And obviously because inflation is a big concern, they are sacrificing a bit of their own wealth at the moment in the interest of trying their hardest to maintain power, with obviously the midterms that are coming up, which is why we're seeing what we were saying. If it wasn't for midterms, if it wasn't for inflation being an election issue, they would not be caring about the impact that the inflation was having on the poor. It would just be business as usual, promote that wealth inequality. So yeah, who knows how this is going to play out, because we've got a long way into the midterms and we've got inflation running very high at the moment. Yeah, what else do I want to look at? What bullish spin can I put on things? Oil doing what we'll potentially expect, easing off here in what is a pan sell-off, what is we are being forced into a recession scenario. Yeah, it's gonna get wrecked. Like I said, this is, like I've been saying for a while, this is a massively overcrowded trade. Every very respectable fund manager and person and financial professional that I listen to is so bullish off energy, so bullish. I mean, they're all long, they are clearly long. So I honestly can't see, as bullish as all the factors are, which is making these very smart people bullish, there's only one direction for this, and this is realistically is down, because everybody is long. Squeeze everybody into what could potentially even, well, who knows, could even come down into literally a 70 handle, but we've got to at least be looking for an 80 handle and well, testing this area. But yeah, there you go, there is that selling off. Anything else we want to realistically look at here? Yeah, Bitcoin dominance, have a quick glance at that. As you can see, still around in this area, so not doing too bad. Not doing too bad at present. That could obviously change. We looked at the Ethereum Satoshi pairing. So yes, I mean, like I say, this is getting pretty aggressive. This has to have a decent pullback at some point. This is already starting to look like it could potentially roll over. And what else? That is not to say the 2-year and the front end of the curve the yield can't keep rallying. And then yeah, let's just look at stochastics. I don't believe we're going to get any respite in the stochastics, but yeah, 4 hour did turn up from a low level and now is still turning back down here. All I can say is it's dragging everything down to a low level where it can potentially turn up from. But what does that give us? Does that give us a bounce? Do we manage to touch that 40k handle? Then all the selling come flooding back in again. 10 hour looking like can potentially turn over. 12 hour still diving. Daily did turn back up, has now turned back down. 2-day looking to turn up from a low level. At some point it probably will. 3-day will probably bottom out at some point, maybe this week. 5 days turning down, weekly turning down, bi-weekly not even looking to turn back up now, which is obviously this is a new bit of information here. Not looking good there, and obviously we know monthly ain't looking good, just for the bearish completion. But yeah, I mean, it is looking like we are going to potentially get, if we've not already had it, potentially get a capitulation event soon. Like I've said, every Monday there isn't a black Monday at the moment, is a good Monday. I mean, watch out for the move down to sub 4k on the S&P. I mean, the Bitcoin relative strength, based on its volatility, has not been so bad. I mean, obviously in percentage wise it's moving more than stocks, but its volatility adjusted percentage wise, it hasn't been moving as much. So maybe it could bottom out mid 30Ks. There is a bid for crypto for its actual use cases of obviously transferring money across borders and things like that, and storing money. There is that use case that is providing somewhat of a bid, which is, I think, is providing the resistance on the way down, as well as support on the way down. The resistance to the price moving down, which is support. Double negative there. But yeah, let's hope that bid can kind of hold us above this mid 30s. If it does, and then we do start to turn around, it will look particularly good here. It will look particularly good for crypto going forwards. But then, like I've showed before, if you look at the longer term chart, crypto on the longer term chart does look good. So yes. There we go, guys. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own research. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. Happy Monday. Let's hope that we can turn these markets around at some point this week. It's just going to be a case of what level to the downside it is we turn these markets around from, and then whether it's a medium or a longer term then reversal. We shall have to see. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and I shall speak to you guys soon.